Ready when you are, CB. Do I start in Canada or Mexico?
We didn't do Animal
Are
Kingdom.
we really AK haters?
It's Theme Park Thursday Live with Dillos Diz. Featuring Frank. And Jen.
This is Theme Park Thursday Eve on our YouTube channel. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we're here, as I mentioned, on the old YouTube channel, youtube.com/DillosDiz, with a bit of news this morning that we will talk about. Just a small little thing, no big deal, NBD, the whole thing.
I feel like it's like a movie, you know, when like the end of Cruel Intentions, when you do the reveal and everyone's finding out the information all at once. That's what this morning was for everybody. and Frank was texting me as I was telling Mr. Snidillo all about it. It's all happening at once.
So we'll get into all of that here. We have a lovely podcast, Theme Park Thursday podcast, dropping on what day will it be? The 17th of October, depending on when you're watching this live stream. That has an array of guests tomorrow, yes, including Jeffers and Theme Park Rob and Lewis and Val, aka Figments in Time. It's getting dark here.
Oh,
look at the sun. It's like it's getting ominous for this live stream in this room right now.
It's an ominous topic to be talking about.
So that Theme Park Thursday podcast will be in all your podcatchers on October the 17th. But yes, those guests and more, we're all discussing this morning's news on October 16th over in our one channel Discord that's associated with DillosDizResort.com. That, of course, is our Patreon, with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com. But that's not why we're here this morning. We're not here to promote the Patreon. We're always promoting the Patreon as the light comes back.
See?
This should be an interesting
promote it.
It's like, what's happening behind this green screen? No one can tell. But yeah, here we are with this morning's breaking news.
Extra breaking news.
Turn that kid around. Of course, that's for those of you listening and not watching. That's our newsboy, our newsie, our paper boy over on Spaceship Earth, with facing the opposite direction, giving the news out to nobody passing by on Spaceship Earth.
Turn him around.
Turn that kid around. So we're here with some lightning lane news. And I'm going to have to get out the glasses for this one to go through it, because I'm not going to be able to read all of this. So I got to listen, I don't I'm never wearing contacts, first of all. Let's be clear.
Oh my God, I would pay money to watch you try to put contacts in your eye. That would be amazing.
First of all, in case you're all wondering, so I've only been really solidly wearing glasses for about 2 years now. And no, I'm never doing contacts. But when I do these, I can't with seeing the computer screen in my, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be reading a lot of social media things.
Yeah.
And about this lightning lane expansion.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it an expansion.
If you know us, you know we don't really prepare. Just like this live stream, right? We didn't know about this live stream until about an hour ago, when we were like, what, there's news? Can you go live? All right, let's do it. But then I was like, we have a limited amount of time. I have to get my thoughts in order. And I actually wrote down some thoughts to be prepared. I still won't sound that coherent, but it's a start to something, I guess.
So Disneyland on the 23rd and Walt Disney World on the 30th of this month of October, imminently. Nothing else to talk about here. Mets game 3 tonight? No.
Come on.
We're here. We're here to stress about other things. But the Lightning Lane, what we're calling it, the old Premier Pass. Now it's a Premier Pass. This expansion, this extension, this beyond. It's what's beyond Lightning Lane. All the things where you get one entry to every Lightning Lane entrance in the whatever park you're visiting on that day. Because don't try to park hop with this. But so that starts in Disneyland on the 23rd. Then it starts in Walt Disney World on the 30th of October. For Walt Disney World, which is usually our focus, since neither one of us have been to Disneyland, but we've gone to Walt Disney World since we were kids. We both worked in Walt Disney World. We go with our children now. This is the decades-long journey we have been on.
Yes.
Just as a mission statement here, as a concept. Walt Disney World, one park, the price range per day, per person. Can go from $129 to $429.
Get out of here.
Tax not included per person. And then Disneyland, $300 to $400 per person per day. Now they got past that. I'll pass.
Yeah. Tony in the chat, hello Tony, this morning, mentioning how Disney is calling this a pilot, so expect changes. We want to get that out as well. Also, if we can put a precursor to all of this as we, I think I just said precursor. See, we're getting heated already. We're the New Yorkers coming out. So as you mentioned, we've been going for decades at this point. We will have a unique perspective, I think, where we try to look at all the things, but please know that we recognize that we are coming from a place of being privileged enough to have been grown up with Disney and seeing Disney at a different time. We know that's not the case for everyone. So just bear with us. And also, this won't mean that we're not going to Disney. That's always the tagline, because we're not complaining. We're not going to Disney. So I'm just saying all the things up front here.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna go, right? Because I mean, I think as who we are and how long we've been going and the amount of times you've been there. Again, when you work there and there's a different vibe in your body about what you're doing. You know, if you still continue to go on a regular basis. But I think the main thing is like we kind of sort of did paper fast passes back in the day. I mean, we weren't gonna go if we happened upon it. If it was something that we were really jonesing for in the moment, that is when we took advantage of paper fast passes. It was like, oh, let's just grab it now while we're here. It wasn't something we planned or strategized or anything like that, which again speaks to our lack of planning or strategizing for any of these trips. So yeah, it's a different angle we're coming from. It's a different perspective. But all this to say, I mean, I don't even know where to really start with this because I find it really obnoxious. I guess it's right. I mean, I think that's you can have all the deluxe resort pricing that you want. You can have all these new DVC towers with their costs. You can have the jump in annual ticket prices or single day ticket prices. Yeah. Right. I mean, you're talking to someone who has gone, well, by the time maybe you're listening to this on the weekend, would have gone to 2 Mets postseason games for an extraordinary amount of money that is in hours, far less than a one-day park pass on most of the time. So again,
right.
It's really trying to balance it out here. When we started this podcast in 2018, you know, the lead up to it was just the Improviser's Guide podcast. And I was like, Jen, we're going to do this thing on Thursdays. And she's like, but who's listening to this? And but like the year before that I was just like, well, I want to listen to different podcasts. What's out there? I listened to Harry Potter and the Sacred Text when I wasn't a Harry Potter fan. I listened to wrestling podcasts, but then I started exploring like what Disney podcasts were out there.
Yeah.
And the thing they talked about back then and has weaved in and out through the JPEG years, especially, was that an exclusivity was being created. Now, the plus side would be they're trying to mitigate crowds.
Yeah.
The negative side is they're trying to weed out the people who can't afford it.
Yeah.
And those are the two extremes, right? So when I see these kind of prices, that's like my immediate thought. I'm like, who? And it's limited. Tony mentions here in the chat, it is a pilot program, which I can get into on another level. But the idea that it's just a cost, like why? Why? I walked right onto Rise of the Resistance last month. What am I doing? Like, what is that for? What is this price for?
Yeah.
Every day, Christmas Day, maybe I'm paying it on Christmas Day. I'm already paying Christmas. But what is the purpose? What is it based on? What is suggesting that this is needed right now and wasn't needed 3 months ago when we got rid of Genie Plus and went with a whole new thing? Why again are we pivoting 3 months later? Or yes ending, I guess, if I want to be kind about it. But you made a change 3 months ago. Why not wait and do the whole thing now? That I don't comprehend. It just looks like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where to begin either. And I do think a lot of our focus will probably be on the pricing of it all, because that is the punch in the gut that we are seeing. Before I go down that, I did see Ryan earlier. Hi, Ryan. Mention, now we know the real reason Disney made all the DOS changes. And I did have that as one of my thoughts of,
great point.
Frank comes from his MFA in dramaturgy sometimes. And I'm going to put my BFA in public relations out here. And you made changes to the DOS pass and that process in a way to try to weed out the people that were taking advantage of it, allegedly. However, many people who still need it have been having issues. And to do this before you really tweak that is not a great look.
Yeah.
Like, address accessibility, address the issues, even if you want to do it in a way of, we hear you and we're working on this, and we changed it, and we understand those changes are still not accommodating for some folks, but we're going to work. But to kind of not be addressing all the issues that have come from the DOS pass changes, and then to go present this a week out that this is happening. This is going to happen next week. What? It's not a great look for you. And that goes to your point that you brought up earlier of, for years, there have been talks of Disney's trying to weed out people that can't afford it. It's not for the average family anymore. And when they do things like this, it's hard to argue that this is not for the average family anymore. Yeah, seeing that pricing is just insane. And also because of how they group things and how they separate, talking about Disney World for a second, how they price things per park. When you can say, the range of the Lightning Lane Premier Pass will be $129 to $400. It's never going to be $129 for Magic Kingdom. So you gotta really look into all of that too, that they're like grouping it all together, but actually we're separating it out park by park. And it's also only for Deluxe Resort, DVC, all of that. And I guess the assumption there is, well, these people can afford it. These are the people that will pay the money because they're staying in the higher price hotels. For me, how are you not offering that as a perk to the people staying in those hotels and making it, Disney, you have for years had perks to things. You have an annual pass, you get the photo pass included. Wow,
Mhm.
great. Why not offer this as a perk to staying at deluxe resorts as you raise those prices sometimes in over $1,000 a night? You're not going to include a pass like this? So now I'm paying over $1,000 a night. I'm paying $499 to try to maximize my experience at the park and get on all the rides on top of admission to the park. And I'll do one more rant and then I'll stop.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like when you look around for wedding venues, for those of you that have, certain wedding venues would be like, hey, this wedding venue offers food and this and this. And then there would be certain wedding venues that are like, you pay for getting into the wedding venue, but you have to pay for chairs. You have to pay for napkins. You have to pay for silver. And it's starting to feel like that. Like at what point are you paying to just get through the gate of Disney? Because now I can't get on rides. Now I can't eat. I can't do anything else without paying more. And it's like, if that's the direction, then you're not going to lower the admission price. You keep raising that admission price and then keep putting these. I don't know. It's all very. Okay, back to you.
I mean, what I appreciate is everyone jumping in the chat. Lexi's here, Ryan's here, Lewis is here. But people I haven't seen in the chat before, which makes me excited. Well, there's Lewis right there. BBC. But Drew, thanks for pointing this out, right? They did this unlimited for $15 a day. So 10 to 25 times more expensive for a single skip is insane.
Yes.
100%. And Sean with a great point, as we mentioned, they are not adding it to high-end hotels because you will keep going, stop going, and all these things will stop. Now, I am plugged in to cable still.
Yeah.
And I have been watching Major League Baseball nonstop for 3 weeks, which is going to severely crash into Hallmark Christmas movies starting this weekend. But the commercials that are nonstop about come to Disney World, look at all the fun things at the Polynesian. Here's your resort discount. Is everyone going to the deluxe hotels? I don't know. If you had that ad with come to, between now and January 5th, when Thunder Mountain is going to be done after that, if you want then to say, we'll give you this pass throughout your stay with your park reservation, bring back the park reservations, then that's something. But you're promoting things during Major League Baseball where you need people to come to your park, but yet you're promoting this. So which is it? Do you need people to come at a discounted rate, or do you just want people to come and pay more? Those things are contradictory. They are running into each other. It is mixed messaging. That's the phrase I'm looking for. And I don't quite understand it and grab it. And I'd be happy to hear everyone's comments on that, because again, this is Jen and I. We didn't do a whole lot of research this morning. We're going reactionary and instinctual response based on what we've read on social media all morning.
Right. And the other point being talked about too is that you can't repeat a ride with this pass, right? So now I'm paying, Ryan mentioned with Magic Kingdom, 1 day ticket to Magic Kingdom with the Premier Pass can cost $518 plus tax, right? Per person. So for that, if I wanted to go on Space Mountain twice, with this because I have this pass and I paid over $500 today to be here for today. I can't do that. Like what? That's a biggie. Lewis is saying both things. Yeah. And that's where all the marketing and the announcements and the confusion do appear, to your point, like they don't know what they're doing. Let's just keep throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, to see what riles people up, to see what people are willing to pay for. And then maybe we'll pivot based on that. And it's like, but it's too many things and it's too much. And it's unfair because what I feel like you're doing is driving a lot of people away. And I get it because for me, we are... a lot of our things are based in nostalgia and being able to take everything in and the details and the Disney breeze. And that's because we grew up in a time where you could do that. We didn't have to We didn't have to even book dining ahead of time. We could
Yep.
call up at 4:00 and get a dinner reservation on top of the Contemporary. It was a very different time. And I feel lucky to have been involved in that time where I didn't have to decide where I want to eat in 2 months from now. And I could just enjoy it a little bit differently. Now, on the other side, people feel like if you plan things out appropriately, I'm going to enjoy it because I was able to do all the things I want to do. And I have heard from people who don't go to Disney as often, who have gotten, when it was Genie Plus or Lightning Lane or whatever, that it's totally worth it. Why would you not do this? Why would you not wait on lines when you can skip them? I would pay any amount of money to be able to do that. I just feel like at these prices, if you're going to offer a pass like this, I just feel like these prices are like kind of an insane start because although it is a pilot program and maybe they do backtrack a little bit, you also kind of assume they go up from here. It doesn't go down from here. And that's the part that's like, what are you doing?
Good morning, Phil. Second week of September, which is when we were there. Magic Kingdom packed. Never seen it that crowded before. We complained, but we keep going.
Yes.
I mean, but it's that. There's also to me, there is kind of an illusion going on because we have been picking times, at least in September and January, where we know the crowds are going to be a little bit down.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to gauge where the crowd attendance really is these days. I mean, we look at wait times all the time and can base it off of that. But we complain, but we keep going. And I'm not here to. It's a complaint, sure. I mean, I don't want to say that it's not, but I want to understand better. I want to know more of the why. I want to understand what about what you're planning is enhancing the experience in such a complete and full way to justify this.
Yeah.
And when it's 3 months after you just changed, you made updates to a program that is connected to this, it doesn't scream like that. This is not 1 year later. This is not a response to Epic Universe, right? It's not. We're not reminding you that on the first day of your resort stay, you can go to the water parks for free, or we're not. Yeah. We're just putting things out there with cost associated with it. Yeah. Where Animal Kingdom is $129 to $199. Epcot is $169 to $249. Hollywood Studios #AlwaysMGM is $269 to $349. Yeah. And Magic Kingdom is $329 to $449. Yeah. $449. Christmas Eve. Yep. You're paying $449 on top of the dynamic price for that ticket.
Yes.
And I saw a lot of people talking on social media about annual pass holders, and they're like, this isn't for annual pass holders. 100%. Not for locals. It's not for annual pass holders. It's not for who is this for? Even tell me that it's we want international. We want people to be able to come and have it worth their while at this price. Right. I don't know. I'm spitballing, but it's I just want to understand what part of this is improving the experience for guests. I don't know the answer to that.
And to your point, I know I started the podcast with, we're not complaining. Okay. So our complaints, though, I think are rooted in like I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like we want more from Disney. We want the experience that we got to have. And to Sean's point in the chat, he said, whatever happened to the Disney difference? I told people, yes, you pay more, but look at all you get. It feels like nothing ever went wrong with the price you paid. Now what do you get for the price? 1,000%. The Disney difference. It's the same with the cruising, right? Don't compare when you're looking up a nice 7-day cruise. Don't compare the pricing. It's the Disney difference that you're getting. You're getting this. You're getting yes, $149 for an after hours where you can ride everything anyway. Or
those prices are going up. There's no way.
Oh yeah,
100%.
But it's true, and that's our point with the Halloween party, right? We thought, well, you know what? We'll pay this, and I think last year the Halloween party ticket was less than 1 day at Magic Kingdom. but I can still go and enjoy the rides and I get a nighttime parade out of it. Like, that's a win. There was always a way to kind of, work around it. And with this, it's so hard to like make sense of it all.
Right. The Disney difference is still there.
Yeah. Yes.
But it is how can we have a little bit of breathing room with letting the Disney difference be there before we do something that's going to create more divisiveness?
Yeah.
That's really where I sit with it. I agree. I think especially, I think there was concerns prior to March of 2020, and then you were going to have a slow return after that, where you're starting to see it. We, like we said in our meetup podcast episodes, we noticed the college program training groups were a little bit larger. I mean, when you see those things in play, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But I think you need to have that settle for a little while before coming in with something new. I'm hung up on the 3 months or whatever it was when they eliminated Genie Plus. July and August, we were looking at, like, why do you need to do this right now? What about it is saying right now, when you have a mixed message of come visit our Walt Disney World at a discounted rate now through whatever. It's very conflicted.
Yeah, I was also thinking of, once you buy the pass, now I have the pass, and now the logistics of it inside the park. Have y'all really ironed all of that out when you're releasing this in a week or two? Because I recall the signage not being great always for Lightning Lane to begin with. So now you have Lightning Lane Premier, and then you're gonna are you still having a regular Lightning Lane and then a regular line?
Yeah,
and
I think it's gonna be the same queuing. Yeah,
right. And so the experience from that perspective of, I'm a guest, now I paid $500 to be here today. Do I even know where to go? How are you filtering through the guests? Are you doing it how people will feel is fast enough because of the money they paid? I think there's so much of that where you're kind of setting yourself up for possibly more backlash if you are not really on top of it, where people feel like they can walk right onto a ride more so than they could had I just bought a single Lightning Lane pass for this one ride or whatever it is. Or if you see rides don't have a crazy wait time, if it is a low crowd day, but you were like, oh, well, this will maximize my experience. Are you feeling like, wait, I didn't have to spend this money? Most of the rides today have been under 20 minutes. That wouldn't have been bad for free.
Yeah, and I said we walked on to Rise of the Resistance last month. If I'm waiting 20 minutes for Rise of the Resistance, and I think that was on the high side last month, that was a walk-on to me. 20 minutes is a walk-on for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
Now, and you have the single rider line. And so why, again, and it goes back to how even just regular Fast Pass, like I just started riding single rider for Test Track when it was free and it was a piece of paper.
Yep.
I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go single rider.
Right.
So when you have, which is nice to have these options, and I've seen people on social media say options are good, options are plentiful, options are, I want Disney to express how this messaging, like use good messaging to support this extension of Lightning Lane, this premier service. Explain to me how when you go to a higher end Universal hotel, it's included, but it's not included here in your deluxe hotels. Whatever you want to, however, I want the spin. I want the spin.
Yeah. All
we do is get spun in life. Give me spin.
Yes.
Pee on my boots and telling me it's a rainstorm.
Jeffers is saying, how long are you at the park? If you've got Premier, you walk onto everything once. Then what do you do? It's early afternoon and you've done everything. Now you got to wait with everyone else. And that's true too. So, does it give you more flexibility and more time? Are you lost now? Are you able to re-ride things and really plan out your day better? Like, what are the benefits of that? Like, you are not releasing any information on what are the benefits of doing this, aside from, yes, it's if I am saving up for 5 years to go to Disney and I finally get to go. I want to maximize my time because I'm probably not going to be able to ever go back again. So I want to make sure I get the best of this. Yes, people are probably going to get this pass if they're staying at a deluxe resort because it's not even an option for anybody else.
Yeah.
So if I am now saving up all of that money, I'm able to stay at the deluxe resort. I'm able to get this pass and maximize it. Okay. Aside from that, what are the benefits? What is this providing to us? And yes, another good point. It feels horrible after waiting 30 minutes in line, being next, and then they stop you and let 20 people in front of you. I mean, you are creating a guest experience where there are tiers of people. And now what once was a happy place where all are welcome is now, oh, well, I couldn't afford to stay at a deluxe resort or get this premier pass, and I saved up years to be able to bring my family here, but those people can, so they get to go in from. It's like, it's not a good, comfy, cozy vibe that they're providing.
I mean, and the Animal Kingdom being on the low end again. Disney, just acknowledge that this is not the theme park that you favor. Just admit it. Just admit it now, Disney.
Right.
We've been talking about it for 6 years. We're not AK haters. We appreciate the AK. We enjoy our time when we're there once every 3 years. But when you see this pricing, like, it's clear that you have an issue in that park too. We're still trying to drive you there by having the price be so low.
Yes.
Now, when you get to Magic Kingdom, I've said it before many times on podcasts. My goal is, like, if I can get on one attraction an hour, I am happy.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, let's say you're spending dawn to dusk, rope drop to fireworks in Magic Kingdom. Are you hitting 15 rides?
Right.
I mean, if you're lucky, what do you want to say? One every half an hour? To say, well, maybe that's 20 rides.
Right.
So you're talking $15 to $20 extra an hour that you're paying.
Yep.
Most people aren't even making $20 an hour right now in their life.
Right. Yes. Lexi, good point. Can we stop focusing on the one-time family and instead using the experience to convince that one-time family to become a yearly Disney family? Yeah. Have people go, oh my goodness, I don't think I'll be able to do this again, and go once. At least I can say I went. Oh my God, that was amazing. Okay, how do we get to do this again? But you can't price them out. Like, you can't,
What the 80s and 90s did was create repeat visitors. That is what they did. That was the success of the 80s and 90s. Was it created Disney adults who want to pay more for the parks.
Yes.
That is the baseline. So this idea that now you're going to price those, I don't know who you're trying to go to here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the business side of it in terms of like exclusivity. Like, this is a special play. We want to make it more special. The foundation is families.
Yep.
Disney is families. The families currently paying for these trips were repeat visitors in the 80s and 90s. A good part of them.
Yep.
I know I'm saying that, but knowing that there's also the people that we're finally getting to go to Disney after all these years. So I don't want to separate that out too.
And also, family comes in all shapes and sizes. That doesn't mean kids necessarily. Right. It's just sharing the experience with whatever your family looks like.
Right. Yes. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm confining it. It's a broad sense of family.
Yes.
But speaking from our experience, we know a lot of people are out there like that. So I want to, I know it's very early in the process. We're only 2 hours in. We're like 3 hours into this announcement, but Disney, how is it this not on your parks blog already? I don't know, whenever I look, it may be up there now, but I was like, where's the Disney Parks blog article about this?
Yeah.
Why are we just riling up social media first thing in the morning?
And you had to know that it was all going to rile up social media. So Where is you got to be ready. You got to be ready to come back and put out the positivity and put out the Q&As and put out all the things, because look what you did. Look what you did in the last 2 hours.
I mean, the PR side of it and the marketing side of it is atrocious right now.
Yes, for sure. Tony was saying, I wonder if these high prices drive more people to buy Lightning Lane multi-pass or Lightning Lane single pass. I'm not paying $300 per person. Oh, $39? I'll do that. I mean, right? Because then you start to compare. Oh, well, that's crazy. But yeah, I guess I'll just do a single pass then for Tiana's or whatever.
Disney has to be better used car salesman. They can't be the guy in the play, I played an insurance salesman, right, in a music, and I had the mustache and the plaid and the slick back hair. Like it can't be that. Disney can't be that guy. It can't be that archetype. You have to sell it. And this is what you're doing, and that's a great point too. Of like, all right, we're trying to push. Let's make people so upset by this that we push them towards this other thing. I would think that is the best approach. Yeah, and if not, get better salesmen.
Right. You need some better PR people in there.
Oh, right. Hilarious. I did see people complaining about this.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Okay. Release the celebrities for the candlelight processional. Oh, well, thank goodness. If I thought that a feature that might be used by a few hundred people a day, priced outside the abilities of 90% of the people, would just go blah. I mean, listen, again, then jack up the deluxe hotel prices another $100 a night and add this feature rather than there's better ways to do. Like, the people who can afford this are, if they're the ones who can also go to the deluxe resorts, then jack up those prices another $100 and have it included. Yeah, there was better ways to make this a pilot program, i.e., deluxe resort guests for the next 3 months get this opportunity while we try this new and exciting program that we hope to be in play by the year 2025. Again, try things out. Don't just say, here's a thing that's going to cost you way more money. I don't understand it.
And I know then, I don't think the rides could handle every deluxe guest using this. Way too many deluxe rooms.
But if I can get a discount to go to those deluxe rooms, are they at capacity? And again, that's why it's a pilot program. See what you can do. Yeah.
And Nate's saying they are also adding complexity to an already cumbersome process just to get in the door. Yeah. And I know that then the extremes can go to, we all have to stop going and giving Disney our money, but it's not going to happen. Even if a large enough group stop doing that, it's not going to matter, because they will continue on, because they will find their audience. They will find their people that will do this and keep paying. And right now we're those people. However, me speaking personally, coming from my unique experience, having grown up with Disney, having gone on all the rides, not being a massive ride person. If I go to Disney and I don't get on all the rides, I'm okay. That is my point of view. You will not catch me buying this pass. That's me personally. Never. So I am holding on to the hope that Disney just doesn't continue, which I'm sure they will, to continue to make it the wedding venue where you have to pay for chairs and you're just paying to get in the door. It's hard for me. And that is the fight. And that is the complaint. It's like, Disney, I want the warm and fuzzies. I want the warm and fuzzies I used to know. I want the warm and fuzzies for everyone else who's never gotten to experience that. And when I see you make moves like this, I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. Why are we doing things like this?
Who are you trying to please? Yeah. And why is it not the masses?
Right. Yeah.
And, again, as someone who, Dr. J, Pixie Dust PhD herself, she would subscribe to her channel here on YouTube. I know we're on the Instas too. We should mention that we are on the
Yes.
here today. That she said she went with the 3-day, 3-park, deal, which was a very nice deal.
Yep.
Because the Epcot ticket price was close to $200.
Yes.
As someone who paid close to that price for the next Met postseason game, they're going to standing room.
Yeah.
Standing room. Again, you're going to make your own decisions and your own choices. I know we've been complaining here for about 40 minutes ish, but it's not, I don't know deep down, because I'm not going to pay for it. So is it really about the price, or is it just about how poorly Disney has been going about their business?
Yeah.
Whether it's the timing of what they're doing, whether it's the failure to explain it in a way that helps us all understand better. All these things that is only putting more of a negative look on your company, rather than getting ahead of it, trying things out. If Tony's point about all the deluxe room, would it I don't know, split across 4 parks? Would it be worth it if you do a park reservation system and it's first come first serve and you pay for it? There are ways you could have went about it as a pilot program. That looked like it was trying to support those guests, because we're focused on villas, deluxe, and DVC. Is it both 3? But it just on those guests, then work the pilot system based on that. Why are you even broadcasting it out publicly? Like, hey, if you live in Finland, this is what you can pay extra to get on all the rides during the day. Because my guess is someone in Finland is like, this is the only time I'm getting to Disney, so I'm going to pay that price. Yeah. A pilot program would be small ecosystem. Let us see how the response is, and then broaden. Pilot program is, let's tell everyone 90% of the people will get annoyed, and then we got to dig our way out of it. That part of it is confounding to me. So we can. It sounds like we're complaining about the price and the money grab. No, it's not something we're going to pay for. Yeah. I want Disney to be better as a business, and the communication to be done so in a way that we know to just be honest. Yeah. We think there are guests out there that want this premium experience. Like, just start saying that stuff. Yeah. Just like they want VIP tours. Right. I worked in VIP tours for Universal 25 years ago. I know what the prices are now. And we just had friends who just went to the RIP tour for Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. Like, I know what that premium experience is. And when you hear it, it sounds awesome. Yes. Make this sound awesome. Right. Sound awesome. Yep. Here's how you can do it. Here's a timeline of your day of all the things you can do with this pass. Look how quickly you can hit Magic Kingdom. Show me an itinerary. Show me things that support why there's value in this price. Yes. That I don't understand why that's lacking. Yeah. Agreed. They're already behind the 8 ball. They're already behind it. Oh yeah. And I feel like they have been in this, when it comes to PR and marketing and all of it, for years now. I feel like they've been behind it. And it just continues. Like, what are we doing? A great way to celebrate Disney's 100th and first anniversary today. Great point by Tony. Tony, drop in your plugs here, because you've had a lot of great comments here. Just put in about your info, just so we can plug it here at the end of the live stream before we wrap things up, or direct people your way who are watching this later. Yes. Is there anything else? I'm sure. I'm sure I'll think of even more things. It is exhausting, though, and that's the thing. I started thinking of more and more things. As I'm in the morning craziness and getting the kids ready for school, I'm like, wait a second, let me write this thought down, because it'll escape me later on. But it's just, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Just the worst. I'm still enjoying the sun going in and out. The light and dark. Yeah. The light and dark of the podcast. That's right. Here I am in the darkness again. Less than 2 weeks until my birthday. Finally. Bum, bum, bum. Find Frank for 50. I won't be around to be hiding in 2 weeks, everyone. Good luck. We'll find you. And then we'll see. And Mets coming up here. Still talking about the Mets. We have we'll probably drop this live stream in the audio feed. If you really want that ranting experience in your ears later, you can go and give us a download there.
Yeah.
We have Theme Park Thursday tomorrow, the 17th, with Lewis and Val, aka Figments in Time, with Theme Park Rob, with Jeffers. A lot of fun there with a little Sebastian's Bistro talk. I feel like now that I've talked about it twice,
Yeah.
I feel like, I might have to go there.
Mhm.
Just to experience that, and then a little bit of not so scary talk as well, and Theme Park Rob's first Ohana breakfast experience. I think
Yes.
We'll close that out. So that's what's happening on Theme Park Thursday. The podcast tomorrow. Tony hasn't dropped in. I'm trying to stall so Tony can drop in.
I think also we start the podcast with a tangent, because why
Oh,
not
yeah.
just start off on the tangent instead of keep ranting about other things and then interrupting with a tangent. I mean, we do that too, but we kick off the podcast with an important tangent and an important discussion I think we all need to hear.
Very important. Tony's Disney Discussions newsletter there. Go and subscribe to it
Yes.
over at the free DisneyNewsletter.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, make sure I got that right here as I stall more before the end. But his weekly recaps are really awesome.
Yeah.
And you should go check it out and subscribe for free. It's a really, really awesome resource.
Yes.
For when we want to rant about other things besides premiere passes.
Yeah.
But that will wrap things up here on our YouTube channel and on the Instas this morning. I don't know what happened with the X, Jen. You had the X set up and the X.
Yeah. And then when I went live, they were like, you can't do X. And I was like, okay, forget it.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So happy to be on the Instas this morning.
Yes.
I'll have to start going back to the Facebooks then, I guess, if that's the case.
Yeah. I don't think I even tried that one. I think I was just, what can we do?
Yeah. Until tomorrow, it's Theme Park Thursday on
Yes.
October 17th. She's Jen, and I'm Frank. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Deuces.